Welcome back. Today, we embark on a poignant journey back in time to one of the most devastating events in human history, the dropping of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. World War II was a global conflict that erupted in 1939 and involved major powers from different parts of the world. The war was triggered by a series of political, economic, and territorial disputes, and it quickly escalated into a devastating and widespread conflict. The Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, sought to expand their territories and influence, while the Allies, consisting of countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union, opposed this aggression. The rise of militarism and imperialism in Japan fueled its involvement in the war. Seeking to secure resources and influence in the region, Japan embarked on an aggressive expansionist policy in Asia, leading to conflicts with China and other neighbouring countries. Japan's entry into World War II occurred on December 7, 1941, with the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, which crippled the US Pacific Fleet and thrust the United States into the war. Japan's expansionist ambitions in the Pacific had come to a head, and they aimed to establish a Greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere, a self-sufficient bloc of Asian nations under Japanese leadership. The Pacific theatre of the war saw fierce battles between Japan and the Allied forces. Japan's military aggression led to occupations, atrocities, and significant losses on both sides. As the war raged on, the Allies recognized the potential power of nuclear technology and its potential impact on the outcome of the conflict. The Manhattan Project was a top-secret research and development program led by the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, with the goal of creating atomic weapons before Nazi Germany could develop its own. Under the leadership of scientists like J. Robert Oppenheimer, the Manhattan Project assembled a team of brilliant minds who worked tirelessly to harness the power of nuclear fission. The project cost billions of dollars and involved the construction of secret research facilities and production sites. The successful development of the atomic bomb marked a pivotal moment in human history, introducing the world to the destructive power of nuclear weapons. In the summer of 1945, with the war in its final stages, the United States faced a difficult decision, whether to use the newly developed atomic bomb on Japan. After careful deliberation, Hiroshima, an industrial city of strategic significance, was chosen as the primary target. Hiroshima had largely been spared from previous bombing raids, and its military and industrial installations were intact. The decision to bomb Hiroshima was driven by the hope that a devastating demonstration of the atomic bomb's power would compel Japan to surrender, thus hastening the end of the war. On August 6, 1945, the B-29 bomber named the Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, departed from Tinian Island in the Pacific with the atomic bomb codenamed Little Boy on board. The aircraft, specially modified to carry the massive bomb, embarked on a harrowing journey to deliver its deadly cargo. The crew of the Enola Gay knew the significance of their mission, but they also understood the immense responsibility that came with wielding such destructive power. At precisely 8:15 a.m., the bomb was released from the Enola Gay and descended towards Hiroshima. Within seconds, the bomb detonated at an altitude of approximately 600 meters, 2,000 feet, above the city. The explosion generated an intense flash of light, brighter than 1,000 suns, followed by a shockwave that flattened buildings and structures in a 2-kilometer radius. The fireball's intense heat and pressure instantly killed tens of thousands of people and caused unimaginable destruction. The infamous mushroom cloud, composed of superheated gases and debris, rose miles into the sky, marking the dawn of the nuclear age. The blast's destructive force was unprecedented, leaving behind a scarred landscape of rubble, debris, and unimaginable human suffering. The atomic bomb's detonation caused widespread destruction in Hiroshima. In the immediate aftermath of the blast, approximately 70,000 people were killed instantly, with many more dying in the days and weeks that followed due to severe injuries and the effects of radiation exposure. The bomb's immense power obliterated structures and infrastructure within a 2-kilometer radius of the epicenter. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to ashes, and the landscape was unrecognizable. The once thriving city of Hiroshima was left in ruins. The destruction was not limited to buildings and structures. It was a catastrophic blow to the heart of a community, shattering families, dreams, and hopes for a brighter future. Beyond the immediate casualties, the true human toll of the Hiroshima bombing extended far beyond the initial blast. The survivors, known as hibakusha, endured not only physical injuries, but also the psychological trauma of witnessing such immense destruction. Many hibakusha suffered severe burns and injuries, and others faced long-term health issues caused by exposure to high levels of radiation. The medical facilities in Hiroshima were overwhelmed, with doctors and nurses working tirelessly to treat the injured despite limited resources. The psychological impact of the bombing was equally devastating. Survivors grappled with the trauma of losing loved ones, witnessing the horrors of the blast, and navigating the uncertainty of their future in a world forever altered by nuclear devastation. In the aftermath of the bombing, Hiroshima faced unprecedented challenges in its efforts to provide aid, shelter, and support to survivors. The city's infrastructure, transportation systems, and communication networks were severely damaged, hampering rescue and relief efforts. The local authorities, overwhelmed by the scale of destruction and the massive number of casualties, appealed for help from the Japanese government and the international community. In the weeks and months that followed, aid organizations, medical teams, and volunteers arrived in Hiroshima to provide assistance and support. However, the recovery and rebuilding process would be long and arduous, requiring resilience, determination, and international solidarity. The bombing of Hiroshima marked a pivotal moment in human history, introducing the world to the destructive power of nuclear weapons. The advent of the nuclear age and the threat of atomic warfare ushered in an era of heightened global tensions and geopolitical complexities. The potential for catastrophic destruction prompted the major powers to engage in a nuclear arms race, as each sought to bolster its own nuclear arsenal as a deterrent against potential adversaries. This nuclear arms race culminated in the Cold War, an extended period of political, military, and ideological tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. The haunting specter of the Hiroshima bombing catalyzed a global movement for peace and nuclear disarmament. In the aftermath of the war, voices around the world began advocating for a future free from the horrors of nuclear warfare. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not only catalysts for change, but also powerful reminders of the urgent need to prevent further use of nuclear weapons. Survivors, peace activists, and concerned citizens came together to call for an end to nuclear testing and the elimination of nuclear arsenals. The 1955 Russell-Einstein Manifesto, signed by Albert Einstein and British philosopher Bertrand Russell, warned of the catastrophic consequences of nuclear war and urged world leaders to pursue peaceful resolutions to conflicts. This growing movement for peace and nuclear disarmament continues to this day, with organizations, activists, and governments advocating for the complete abolition of nuclear weapons. In the decades that followed the Hiroshima bombing, remembrance and memorialization became integral to the city's identity. The survivors, hibakusha, have played a vital role in ensuring that the world never forgets the horrors of nuclear warfare. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, established near the bomb's hypercenter, serves as a poignant reminder of the devastation caused by the atomic bomb. The park's memorials, statues, and exhibits stand as powerful symbols of remembrance and peace. As we reflect on the devastation caused by the Hiroshima bombing, it becomes evident that promoting peace, diplomacy, and understanding among nations is essential to prevent such horrors from recurring. The lessons of Hiroshima extend beyond a historical event. They underscore the need for compassion, empathy, and global cooperation in the face of adversity. The United Nations, established in the aftermath of World War II, seeks to promote international peace and security through diplomatic means. Numerous treaties, such as the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, NPT, aim to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and foster cooperation for disarmament. Educational initiatives, such as the Hiroshima-Nagasaki Peace Study Course and peace museums, work to educate future generations about the consequences of war and the importance of peace building. In recent years, global efforts have been made to create a more sustainable and peaceful world. Environmental and humanitarian challenges, such as climate change, poverty, and refugee crises, have underscored the interconnectedness of humanity and the need for collective action. As we conclude our journey through the devastation and resilience of Hiroshima, let us honor the memory of those who lost their lives and the courage of those who survived. May their stories serve as a reminder that we must strive for a future free from the horrors of war and nuclear weapons. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.